Paul, you're a member of the platform committee.
The drafting committee, that's right.
Yes. Well, tell me, how long have you been in Democratic politics?
Well, let's see, since before you were born. Let's see, first campaign at my mother's side was the 1952 presidential primaries. So now at that point I was 9 years old, so I wouldn't say I was fully conscious of what I was up to, but I did pass out a mean leaflet.
Well, now, think about all those years and how this year's campaign has been going, and what does this year look like?
Well, this is actually a big choice year. We've had numerous elections that are of great significance, but this one's huge, to use candidate Trump's favorite adjective, huge. The two different directions that the country could go in are really extraordinarily different, and one could be very harmful to the country that we love, and the other one could be a big step forward, because there have been elections that have delivered a great mandate for progress. 1932, 1960. I want 2016 to rank up there with those, because the platform that I had a share in drafting has a very ambitious and aggressive agenda for America. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done in our country, and there's a lot of sharing of the prosperity that everybody's entitled to. We could do that with a mandate, and we have to go out in the next 104 days and earn that and get that.
Was the debate on the platform for this year a difficult one for you?
Well, it was contentious only because the differences, although not great, were magnified by the fact that the campaign continued after the primaries, and that the platform drafting became the last arena of competition between the two campaigns. Mm-hmm. And so when you're in a competitive campaign, of course, you magnify the differences, and the job of the platform committee was not only to allow those to be aired and ventilated and magnified and argued, but also to be reconciled, mm-hmm. which we succeeded in doing. And that's a piece of work that we can all take great pride in.
Do you recall a campaign that is as ugly as this one?
Yeah, there have been a lot of campaigns that have been as ugly or uglier. Don't forget the way Dukakis was torn down with the Willie Horton ads. The politics can get pretty rough in America. It's not so much the ugliness that's striking about this one. It's the direction that actually Donald Trump is trying to take the country. That's far worse than anything that we've seen.
Are you at all concerned, and I have to admit that I am, that the way the campaigns have unfolded up till now, and especially with Mr. Trump driving at what he's done, do you have any fear that we're going to go through a campaign not debating the issues that really need to be debated, but just assassinating each other's character?
That remains to be seen. There are character issues mm-hmm. that voters care about. So there's no way the campaign will be free of that. And we may have what you're saying is, are we going to have an overload? And that's very possible. And that's certainly the way he carried out the Republican primaries. But in contrast, the Sanders and Clinton campaigns were absolutely chock full of issues and substance and concern. And we also now have a contrast between a caring candidate and a greedy candidate. I'm going to startle you with the revelation that I think the caring candidate is Clinton and the greedy one is Trump, but that's the way I feel.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that you said that. Do you have the sense that the party will leave here being united?
Yes, I mean there'll be some drop off. There's some of the Sanders people were Bernie or bust and still are, and I think they will find their way to some third alternative. I'm worried about that because when people like that were attracted to Ralph Nader in 2000, it ended up swinging the election to George Bush. And what did we have under George Bush? We had the massive tax break for the rich, and we had the invasion of Iraq that is continuing to have adverse, evil consequences in our world, in the Middle East and beyond. And I don't want to see that mistake making again. And I'm going to make sure that everybody I know who's thinking about staying home or sitting on their hands understands that they'll have their kids and their grandchildren to answer for that if they do.
What's your favorite part of a Democratic convention?
Well, let's see. I believe that the Democratic convention's use of prime time between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. in the Eastern time zone, that the speeches that they line up. We saw on Monday night the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, deliver absolutely memorable and even-handed, with a beautiful touch, and and we've seen this done before. Bill Clinton 4 years ago on behalf of Barack Obama, and just being the great explainer about what the stakes of the campaign were about. And he did a great job also in the more limited role that he had this year, and just reminding people of things that they may have forgotten or never known about Hillary. So I think that the way the Democrats use prime time is wonderful, because it's really uplifting for the Americans to see what they saw from the mothers of the movement, so-called, the mothers of these youngsters whose lives were cut short by untoward violence, was also tremendously inspiring, and I'm looking forward to inspiration. So I find inspiration to be my number one on this. I love roll call votes. That's my number two. I absolutely love the amount of illumination we get about the special characteristics of every state, and the people who get to stand up and deliver those. And then I love the diversity, the people. And it's a contrast with the Republicans, unfortunately, but the slice of America that you get here is a real slice of America. Working people of every background, and women and men, and people all here with passion, but representing all kinds of all aspects of what makes America such a wonderful and diverse country. Diversity is our strength, not our problem.
With the platform done, can you relax and enjoy the rest of this convention?
I'm thinking of relaxing on the 9th of November, thank you.
I understand. Well, listen, thank you for taking time to do this interview. It's really helpful. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I should add to that, on the 9th of November or later if we have to have a recount.